The config. Very useful to prevent the need to constantly apply new binds or adjust them. Drifting texture. Changing this to the grass mark fence texture here will allow you to more accurately see the quality of your SDs, so you don't have a vague idea on if you're oversliding or undersliding. Save states. Very simple and straightforward. Save a state wherever you are, and TMInterface will immediately load the state you just created when the command is called. Use load state in the input file for immediate state loading, as if you try to reload the game and use this standalone command, it won't work. Or use this command here if you've opened a new game. Show simulation. This feature gives you the ability to actively see the current replay being simulated. Useful for debugging when there are issues that cannot be seen when this feature is turned off. Convert inputs to analog steering. As the feature suggests, this automatically changes the type of steering from keyboard to controller when validating a run that used keyboard. Relative time format. This allows you to very quickly change and offset many inputs at the same time without manually adjusting every steer line command. This can also be used to fill in lap races, where you can respawn and do the same inputs from the beginning. Combining UI windows. This one is small. However, it can be very helpful when your interface is cluttered with many plugins that you either don't need, or do need but don't want them covering your view of the race. Copying inputs. You can bind a command to recover inputs like this, or you can use the built-in button to copy inputs immediately. Countdown speed. This allows you to control how fast the countdown speed is. Set to a high number to virtually instantly skip the countdown phase. Although, setting this too high can result in briefly skipping possibly up to 2 seconds of the race because it's not perfect and takes a moment to detect the countdown being finished. Try 50 speed for stable functionality. Disable forced camera. This simply disables in-game camera changing triggers so you can more accurately see what you're doing and what's going on. Skip loading screens. Removes the need to go through both of these screens when entering into a map. Logbot commands. Keep enabled for either aesthetic or informational purposes, or disable it to keep the console fresh and clear. Enable start respawn. This allows you to respawn to the start by pressing enter without resetting the time and the race. Save triggers. This removes the necessities to keep applying the same triggers once previously added. Enable auto rewind. As the name suggests, when enabled, rewinding happens automatically when a change in the input file is detected. No finish when rewinding. Disables the finish function when crossing the finish. This is useful for when you're optimizing finish time or trajectories into the finish. Fast forward and rewind. You can set 2 binds, being left and right arrow, to replay 1 second earlier or later in the race. Fun fact, I recently learned this myself while trying to create a plugin to do this exact thing, as Donadigo told me that this is what the replay command is for. Replays tab. Implemented in TMInterface 2.2, you can immediately save a replay with whatever name you need, without saving the replay the standard way that's built into Trackmania. This feature allows you to immediately activate brute force and input extraction. Plugins. It is very easy to download and get working with plugins. Just download a plugin made by the community, put it inside of this location, and enjoy. Frame Advance. First created by Skycrafter, and finished by me with Frame Advance 2. This plugin allows for rewinding back a single frame and going forward by one frame, or in other words, one game tick. Incremental Controller. Speed Sliding. This plugin can generate virtually perfect speed slides. Simply ensure that your vehicle is at or over 400 speed and set the beginning time of your speed slide a few game ticks behind the time that the speed slide is at perfect quality. Wall hugging. This handles similarly to generating perfect speed slides. This too goes through every tick and adjusts the steering, but to go as close to the wall as possible without collision being detected. Likewise, with when to start the wall hugging, ensure that your car is not too close, and not too far from the wall. Also ensure that you set the evaluation beginning time a little bit before the wall curve like this, because not doing this will cause the steering to jerk right or left depending on your chosen direction, and a very poor result will be outputted. If initiated too early, it will cause a very odd and undesirable entry leading to an unsmooth wall hug. This is how your wall hug should look afterward. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please comment them below. See you next time.